Speaking of 50, which I've spoke about throughout this whole podcast, and I usually do on every podcast, Rick Ross decides to double down on disrespecting 50. Ross, a.k.a. William Roberts, Officer Ricky, a.k.a. Correctional Officer, the guy, he's cuffing him every day, right? So let's play. There's really nothing for me to say. I'll just play the clip for you guys. He is trolling 50 Cent's youngest son, not his older son, because at one point he was trolling his older son saying, I can get you a job. But now he's trolling his youngest son. And, see what he has to say.
Taking it back to the essence of MCing, battle rapping, so on and so forth. Someone in my DM say, is that what you and 50 Cent doing? Are y'all battle rapping? Is it beef, real beef? Well, I'm going to say this. Beef, it could be complicated, but I done took 50 Cent youngest son, Bruce Leroy, a.k.a. what? I done took him fishing before. And he loved when I do the what noise. I used to see him all the time over there. But I guess one day his mom may have been creating content on Star Island somewhere, and he was walking around on his second lap. I invited him to the back of my crib. I put bread on a fishing pole, cast it. I watched Bruce Leroy catch his first Dover sole. Man, I felt proud. What? Little man, what's up, though? So, 50, look, I mentioned your youngest son, Bruce Leroy, me taking him fishing for the first time, watching him catch his first Dover sole. That ain't a snapper. Now, but me and my buddies, we was talking about little man possibly suffering with trauma in the future. And I said, okay, that's something I never thought about, trauma. But if he is suffering from trauma or needs any assistance, I'm gonna be here for him. I would love to get him a puppy. What kind of puppy? Chihuahua? All right. A Chihuahua for Bruce Leroy. What?
Ross is trolling. He's very good at it. Sometimes it's funny. But mentioning 50 Cent's youngest son and now like doubling down on it, it's like now you're dragging in a whole different situation. And 50, you know what's interesting? Why doesn't Ross address the MMG chain that got snatched that they've never recovered? That shit went on like a world tour. It was on the Major Distribution video. 50 went bowling with it. They never did anything about that. That chain was snatched and nobody did anything about that. William Roberts never addressed that. And William Roberts has always denied being a correctional officer. Then he pressure kept getting put on him, and then finally he admitted it. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned because I am working on a documentary, and I'm gonna let you guys know because I let my Patreon peeps know. I'm working on a Rick Ross versus Rick Ross documentary. Yes, the real Rick Ross versus the correctional officer, the rapper. I'm going to talk about how the identity was stolen. At what point? It got pushed back because I had planned on dropping it in June, I believe. But because I'm doing some other things and I kind of want to I'll talk about that a little bit later. I don't want to spoil everything. But yeah, I am working on that. And, Ross is just somebody who trolls and thinks he can, this is the most amount of attention he gets because his music career has completely just fizzled out. You dropped a track for Pharrell. That shit didn't do nothing. Nobody cares musically for Ross. You go to like Ross's last biggest hit and you go to 50's last biggest hit, and 50 has a more recent hit. 50's I'm the Man, double platinum, independent, no label. Ross, when's the last time he had a hit that did double platinum? When's the last time? Without Drake, Money in the Grave, which is the only one in 2019, and that's because it's Drake's record. Let's just say Ross's track. Point it to me. You can't. And I know it sounds like I'm hating towards Ross and I'm a hater and I'm a 50 D rider, blah, blah, blah. I'm just speaking facts. That's it. That's all I'm speaking is facts. Yeah, people can say that Ross beat 50 in the battle at the time and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of artists, you could say 50 lost the battle, like Jadakiss lyrically cooked 50, right? But look at even Game, right? Destroyed, quote unquote, G-Unit, blah, blah, blah. Attacked 50, all this. At the time, people were saying 50 is finished. But as the years have gone on, 50 has outlasted all of them. And that's no disrespect to Jadakiss. He's doing the Joe and Jada podcast. Jadakiss is doing fine, but he's not at the level of 50. None of these guys are. 50, YouTube Music released that list of monthly listeners, and 50's on that list at over 100 million monthly listeners, and he hasn't dropped an album since 2014. Ross is, I don't think, nowhere near on the list. Let me actually check that. You got Doechii, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, Coolio, Meek Mill, Wiz Khalifa, Pitbull, Nicki Minaj, Travis Scott, J. Cole, Kanye West, XXXTentacion, Lil Tecca, Drake, Future, Doja Cat, Tyler the Creator, 50 Cent, Playboi Carti. You have no Ross anywhere. Nowhere. Because that guy's music is not what people hyped it when he was beefing with 50 about. Yeah, does he have... Here's the thing. I'm never going to be a full hater on any artist. Ross has some great records, and I love the God Forgives I Don't album. He's got Aston Martin music, he's got Hustlin', he's got Push to the Limit, he's got Usual Suspects with Nas, he's got a lot of dope tracks. Album-wise, I think the only one where I actually enjoyed for the most part, the full album is God Forgives I Don't. The rest were they're all right. They have a few records on there that's cool. So Ross has great music here and there, but he's never been at the level of 50, not even close. So he makes these jokes, and I don't know if 50 is going to respond. I don't think he really cares to. 50 just trolls him at a certain point just to have fun. But it boosts their career.